Hello and welcome to the unofficial video game show. My name is Ross Gillespie.
My name's Emma Lewis.
And my name's Tom Knights.
Lead us into the game, Ross. Fable 3, what do you know about it?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, Emma, perhaps you better start.
I know nothing!
You know nothing?
Other
Tom,
than
you are the king of Fable at the moment.
I will get the box.
Okay, it's
live the epic adventures of a revolutionary leader, fighting alongside your people to seize the crown. Throughout your journey, the actions you take will change the world around you for good or ill. Who will you become? The tyrant you rebelled against, or the greatest ruler to ever live?
Okay, so Fable 3, it's a sequel to Fable 2, obviously.
No.
And it's a game made in the UK by Lionhead. Yeah, let's start. And yeah, they've always been like Lionhead. They did Black and White originally.
Peter Molyneux.
Oh, Peter Molyneux. They've always been big on choice, player choice, and so
the
I think this is
kingdom is on the
continued here.
verge of revolution, but who will be the hero to lead the rebellion?
Okay,
This is where Tom shows his colours.
So right from the start. Look, there's an obvious choice, right? There are two choices. I am a guy. Alright, just for a change, let's go as a girl.
I'm proud of you. I really am.
How come her head's not attached to her neck?
Of course.
It is
The
attached
princess.
to her neck.
It is time you saw what your kingdom is truly.
She's got some sort of ruff going on.
Ah.
She will see it in better detail in a minute. I love games that give you tips.
Yes, but you never read them.
Please don't turn off your console while the game's
banjo.
running. Sorry?
Yeah, that's because I usually sit where the camera's actually at the moment, Ross, so I can read them.
Behave or else, does that say?
Yes.
It's saving already.
I mean,
Well, it's creating itself a little...
50 years have passed since a great hero. You see, what I quite liked about Fable 2 was that it was a while since the events of Fable 1 had happened, but the world took that into account. So it was like many years ago a great hero did this and that great hero was you. And so this is going to be the same thing with respect to Fable 2. This is more of an industrial revolution sort of style time, whereas Fable 2 was a sort of
The age of industry has
Shakespeare
come
kind
to
of
an
thing. See, in Fable 2 you got to own that, didn't you?
I've not played it all yet.
Really?
So I
Okay.
don't know.
Well, in Fable 2 I own that, but now I guess we have to start all over again. And without the dog to boot. Or does this game have a dog in it? I don't know.
You haven't played
You
it.
don't know, you haven't played it. I haven't
I
played it.
do know.
You do know.
I'm not telling you.
You've got to have a dog. That was one of the best bits about the second one.
Such a beautiful day to waste in bed, don't you agree?
What? Go away, Jasper.
Now, that is hardly the response of a princess. I'm afraid it is time to rise. With your permission, I shall wake your sleeping companion. Ah, yes, one's heart soars before
It's all
such
gone rather Edinburgh Zoo, isn't it, really?
I trust you both slept well. Busy day.
Not that we're saying anything about
Come
the
on,
director.
boy.
We have no
If I
proof of
have to
this.
go down-
No proof, no.
It's not going to work. Don't look at me like that. Oh, very well. Good dog. What a pair. The kingdom is doomed.
This is my dog, isn't it? Brilliant. Okay.
Elliot.
Find Elliot. Right, so one feature that was common to, certainly to Fable 2, don't know if it was to Fable 1, but is that there's this trail, this golden trail, that you can turn off if you want, but it leads you to your next objective.
Who
And
would seriously turn it off?
well,
Unless you know the map back to front.
Or you want more of a challenge to
Turn it
find
off.
an exploration.
you do want a challenge, you do want
Will do.
exploration, but it
Bye,
actually,
Jasper.
You'll be led by the hand.
I thought it actually worked really well. You don't want to be led by the hand, but it never felt like that to me in Fable 2, and I thought it was actually a really good feature. So yeah,
I love that you've got this like ensemble on, right? But you're running in it.
Princess.
I'm fairly sure that
Heels as well, I think.
women who wore dresses like this were not actually allowed to run.
Hold hands.
Hold hands.
Left trigger.
Well, let's go then.
Why are you holding hands with some like
Pleb.
pleb? Yeah.
So it's
You're gonna take him with you to Elliot, are you?
yeah. What?
Press L.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. See you around.
Okay,
Craig the
interact.
gardener.
Greetings, madam.
Shake hands.
She got him close.
Achievement for shaking hands, Tom.
Brilliant.
Very good.
What's that? Fetch.
Is that...
Belch.
Okay. So, now we come to something that I don't like too much about Fable, which is that it's an RPG but without dialogue, and I think that that's kind of criminal, because what I'd like is to develop, I think part of the game is about...
Sims-ish. Being able to do these kind of actions are very similar.
It is. I mean, being... Like, the game is a lot about sort of building relationships with the NPCs, or at least that's the idea that I get. But I think that would be so much better with some kind of well-crafted dialogue than by belching in someone's face. Maybe that's just me.
Oh,
It's a what?
warrior. Are you here to join my army? Good.
That's
We
what
shall
big
face all
dogs.
our enemies together, won't we?
It's just kneel
Yes,
down.
we will. Yes, we will.
Then the kingdom is safe.
Ah, our fair princess. Your two brave knights will protect
It's
you
nice
with
to hear
their
the player
lives.
character actually talking. I think that
I can look after myself,
Sparrow
you
in
know.
Fable 2 didn't actually say anything. You just look
Really?
on.
I'm afraid I'll need
Sparrows
some
and
proof.
the-
Perhaps you can give me a demonstration of your abilities?
Hug or kiss. Hug him.
Yeah, don't give all the ones, Tom.
No.
Give him a hug first, I think.
Okay.
Unless you want to get a reputation. That was quite a dramatic hug.
Yeah. It's a Hollywood hug.
How's that?
She's gonna fall
I
over.
don't
That was a
know.
bit, lad.
Sure
Oh,
how-
lad.
Yeah. Mark's
What
at
about Arnold
10.
Schwarzenegger is?
I thought you'd never
I have given you a hug.
You just tell you I wanted to speak to you.
Yes. Did something happen?
I'm not sure, but everyone in the castle seems to be upset with your brother. More than usual. And it's even worse down in the city. You hear such terrible stories. Listen, they say a factory worker was executed this morning. I'm sure it's only a rumour, but you can imagine how people are talking.
Grab a sword.
No, I think it's also worth saying, all of the Fable games happen in the same world, so you'll be going to more or less the same locations, but at a later point in time, which I think is a really cool feature. It's a really good idea. I think Lionhead are planning on doing 5 Fable games in total, so what the other settings would be, I'm not sure. Okay.
Come on. This is important. Excellent! Do you remember the stories I tell you when you were a child?
Ooh.
Of your mother,
Hold X to block
the great hero
Okay,
queen.
so it's attack.
You'd never get tired of hearing those stories. And after each one, do you remember what you would say?
Teach me how to be a hero.
Yeah,
Every
but you're not
single
being a
time.
hero, you're being a mean
I wish that was
bastard
something
so
an old
far.
soldier like me could teach you. But I've done my best. Now I need you to do your best. Strike me. Don't think of me as Walter. Think of me as an enemy.
I remember how to
It's
do
so
this.
funny if you go, don't think of me as Walter, think of me as Big Daddy. Or you're a bitch or something like that.
Ha! You only went and broke it. Look at that. Am I a great teacher or what?
I'm here to stop you. You can't kill those people.
No, wait. Enough.
How dare you turn against me? Perhaps you believe you should be the one making these decisions. You really wish to defend those traitors? Then so be it. Let us see how you do. Take my sister and her friend to the throne room. We shall settle this matter officially.
Well, that was our review of Fable 3 for the Xbox 360. I've never played the game, Emma's played Fable 2, and Tom has now played both.
Yeah.
Or all 3 even.
I haven't played Fable 1, but I've played 2 and I've played what you saw just there. So I thought it was sort of business as usual. I mean, it it's quite a fun game to play. It's quite, as far as the RPG genre goes, Fable's always been quite light. There's not a lot of going to menus. There aren't really very many stats, so you don't have to worry about them anyway. And it's not about sort of putting points into certain stats and fiddling with numbers. There's not loads of equipment. I mean, there's some, but not a lot. And the magic and the action stuff are fairly easy to do. You've got one button for hand-to-hand combat, one button for ranged combat, and one button for spells. So it's very easy to get into, works well on a console, and there are certain aspects of it that are really good. The world is very well thought out. It's very it looks very nice. The kind of colour palette they use is always good. The textures are very good. The player character graphics and some of the character graphics look a bit creaky sometimes, but on the whole, it's quite a graphically polished game. The design of the levels has always been really good, and so they're fun, fairly long RPGs, and there are some really nice little touches, like the fact you get a dog following you around. I mean, that was one of the great bits about Fable 2, because it's only a small thing that the dog doesn't do that much, but it's just a nice kind of companion to have when you're wandering out into the wilderness. You don't feel so alone, and it's just that kind of it's often the small things that make it a game good, and there are small things like that the Fable series has that makes it good. However, I think there are a few problems for me. One is the total lack of dialogue guts the game to a certain extent, and also it's a game that's made in the UK, but it's a little too kind of a Midsummer Murders style view of England. Americanised view of it, yeah. So the regional accents, which are these sort of West Country, Somerset sort of things, yeah, are just grating. And that's not to say everyone who comes to the West Country sounds grating. That's because they don't all sound like that. It's very cliched and kind of hackneyed to quite a large extent. And personally, for me as an RPG fan, I do find the lack of depth sometimes is more of a hindrance than a help. What do you think, Emma?
Sorry, the left to say. No, one of the main reasons I liked Fable 2, and I'm sure I'm going to like Fable 3 when I play it, is the fact that I'm not stuck in menus all the time. The accents do drive me crazy.
Yeah.
So I tend to not have the volume very high. I'll put subtitles on if they're available, because I don't want to listen to them. The only person who actually doesn't annoy me is the character. Is it Teresa or Teresa? Her name is.
She's
the only one that doesn't annoy me.
English kind of accent.
I do like the graphics. I think you're right about the characters, though. They can be a bit clunky in a way that they don't move quite right. It was a bit like the kind of thing I picked up on in Fallout. I didn't feel the character moved quite right if you were looking at the character, whereas you do in this game anyway. But I'm sure when I get around to playing it properly, I will thoroughly enjoy it anyway, because it's quite a interesting little game. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's good. Give it a bash. What do you think, guys? Scores? Up or down?
I like it. I'm
going to give it a thumbs up as well. Go out and buy it, people.
No, don't. This is a game
He's going against
that for me, it's not. I'm sure I would quite enjoy it, but in a way, for an RPG, that isn't enough. I think RPGs, they're my favourite genre. They should be pushing the boundaries of what games are capable of. Fable doesn't do that. It's not a forward-thinking series, and I'm going to have to give it a thumbs down on this occasion.
Controversial. Oh well. See you next week, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.